Sup? So, eBay. I don't even think people still use eBay, to be honest with you.
I'm a college student, and my laptop recently broke. It was in the middle of the semester, so I was really in need of a new one.
Okay.
I searched on eBay and saw an ad for the exact laptop I was looking for. It was a miracle. It was the new HP Pavilion for an absurdly low asking price.
And some people would think that's either sus or... I was about to say something else, and I literally lost my train of thought as I was about to say it. That's just... Oh, some people would think, it's, wow, it keeps disappearing from my mind. Fuck. How does that happen? How does that happen? You think about something, literally 2 seconds later, you forget. This right here is definitely hella sus, but it's also like some people would think it's too good to be true. There we go.
I was so excited I immediately bought it, as
Wow.
it was only listed a few hours ago, and I wanted to be sure to get it before anyone else could. Although the thought of it being a scam never even crossed my mind once when buying it.
Oh yeah?
As I waited a while for the laptop to arrive, I'd constantly go back to the page and look at it with anticipation. I was excited. It felt like Christmas. And just over a week later, the laptop finally arrived. A bit annoyed, I noticed that there wasn't much protection for the laptop in the box it came in. But luckily it was fine, and it didn't have any visible damage. I opened the laptop and immediately saw a sticky note on the screen.
Come on, man. Come on. That should have been your first big... Nah. That should have been like... It's still early, but it's red flags showing early too. That sticky note is a dead giveaway. That's a huge red flag. And it's an HP. Who the hell?
It was a 4-digit PIN. I was confused. Why would the seller not remove their account prior to sending the laptop?
You better check that
It
camera.
made no sense to give me the PIN to sign into their account.
Check that
Why
camera.
didn't you just do a hard reset before shipping it?
Check the camera.
Of course, I ignored my suspicion and used the PIN to sign into the account.
The camera.
When typing in the PIN, I couldn't help but notice the profile picture to the Outlook account was solid black. A bit eerie, but I continued to sign in anyway. There was nothing special at first. The background was a standard default image of a beach that Microsoft uses with its computers. I assumed all the files and everything would be cleared, and most of them were. But I couldn't help but notice some files still remained on the laptop. What sensible person would leave their files for a stranger to see? Anyway, I was looking through the files.
That being said, what you just 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 said. Nobody does anything by accident. You may think you do it by accident. Y'all saw them lights move, right? I promise you on everything. If I didn't realize I had cats, shit. Just saying. Shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, that felt good. Okay, sorry. Guys know what I just did right now. That was weird. That was so weird. No, but like you may think you do stuff on accident, but it's really on purpose. You know? So that being said, like it was no accident that there was a sticky note on a laptop. There was no accident that there was left, like there were files still on the laptop. Now is it clucked files? Yes, it is. That shit hurts. I have a headache. I'm gonna relax.
They all looked to be normal
Wow.
photos and videos. They were photos of woods and a river.
Wow.
They didn't seem planned out, though, almost as if the photos were accidents. They weren't even symmetrical, and some were just blurry and honestly terrible photos, almost as if they were purposely bad.
Just delete them.
There was also a single picture of a room. It looked very simple, plain. It had beige walls, a bed, a large vent, and a light. The light made the room look really strange. But just then, I came across a video. The video was absolutely terrifying. It featured off-putting audio, and
It couldn't have been that terrifying, because you still looking at the video. You still looking at that. Looks like a deformed, clucked up scoliosis. Got herpes for days and days and days. Mickey Mouse. As soon as I clicked on the video and I seen some ears, I'm clicking off.
a combination of videos of this man in a very disturbing Mickey Mouse mask, and it was cutting back and forth from him to some very disturbing clips that I couldn't make out. I could hear groans and some shuffling. Earth, Wind, and Fire's September was also playing in the background. After a rewatch, I was very uneasy. The combination of all these things made for a very unsettling video.
Oh, yeah?
I instantly went back to the ad on eBay for some answers, but it was gone.
Oh.
I couldn't remember the seller's name, but I do remember what town it was shipped from. It was a small town in Utah I'd never heard of. I looked it up to realize that that town didn't even exist.
Wow.
I was confused. I thought maybe this was all just some sick prank pulled.
He gotta chill with them with that bottom with that chin view, with that should look ugly. I don't care how cute you are, I don't care how fine you are. That angle from the chin, relax.
Seller. That seemed too far-fetched. What person would go through the process of setting up an eBay ad, making this video, putting it on a nice computer, and selling it at such a low cost, and even giving sign-in info of his account? It didn't make sense. There were no more files on the computer, and I tried searching for more things, any hint as to what the video was, but I found nothing. After messing around on the laptop for a bit, I decided to call it a night and head to bed. The next day, I got up at around 6:30 in the morning and went to school.
Oh shit, I didn't think about that. Not only do you need to close that laptop when you're not using it, or just face the laptop where the camera is somewhere else that's not focused on you. Because although the camera could be hacked, and he might be looking at you, getting one off, talking about something. Oh! Right? The whole laptop could be hacked. You know what I mean? It could be like traced. Not traced. Oh, he could be tracking you with the laptop. You gotta think about this shit.
When I got back home later that day, I went to my laptop and sat down, hoping to unwind for the rest of the day. I opened my laptop, and that's when I saw it. It took me a second to notice, but the profile wasn't solid black anymore.
Wow.
It was changed. I sunk into my chair, feeling hot flashes run through me. I sat there for a good minute or two, analyzing and trying to make out what the picture was. It was a close-up, semi-blurry picture of a front door and its doorknob. I instantly wiped everything, and I frantically began deleting the photos and the video from the files. I also removed the account from the laptop. I thought about getting rid of the laptop altogether, but I needed it for school. I couldn't get rid of it. I also would need to do some work. I'm a musician, and I also make films with my good friend. I began to install all the software I use. After about an hour, I was all set. As I began, I completely lost track of time. I had been writing and recording for hours on that computer. However, unavoidably at this point, that video came back to my mind. Specifically just how disturbing that Mickey Mouse mask was, and even the sounds from the video. That's when I saw something. My heart instantly dropped to my stomach. I noticed the light to my webcam was on. It had been on the entire time, and I had been too distracted to even notice. I sat there for a second in shock, frozen as I stared at the small light. I quickly regained my attention and slammed the screen down, shutting it. That was it. I finally took the laptop, heading outside as quickly as I could. I opened it and spread it against the curb, stomping down on it. I broke it in two and proceeded to throw it into my trash bin. I was still absolutely terrified. How long was I being
You can't be that terrified. You can't. You know why? Where your blinds at? Where your curtains at? Windows. Convenient as a water bottle. I got prepared what? I have to prepare what? I have to prepare myself for this. That rubbing didn't do nothing. I don't know why I did that. Oh man. La 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 la. Oh man. Wide. I love that shit. Man.
Who was watching me? Was the guy even from Utah? Questions raced in my mind, and of course I called the cops. I was on the phone with 911, and they said they'd send 2 cars over to check around. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think they cared. I think they just sent them to calm me down. After a 5-minute search, they told me that I'd be fine, and that there are just creeps out there who are willing to do anything to scare people. And they left. But to be fair, there wasn't really anything they could do. I didn't sleep that night, and I kept my lights on, blinds closed, doors and windows locked, and I stayed up and watched TV.
That sounds like you only checked like 50% of the checklist. Excuse me. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and just 100% check the checklist. You didn't check the checklist. Hey, you didn't check the checklist. Hey, nobody checked the checklist. Hey, nobody checked the checklist. Hey, you didn't check the checklist. Hey, you didn't check the check. I'm hot.
While I was doing this, it hit me. That profile picture that was originally black and it changed to a picture of a door and its doorknob. That was my front door.
I could have told you that shit. It took you so long. It took you so long. It took you stupid long. Like a ridiculous amount of time to realize that was your front door.
I moved out 2 days later, and I bought a real laptop from Best Buy. To this day, that video is still ingrained into my mind, and it still disturbs me from time to time. And I also wonder how whoever this was able to get a picture of my front door. One thing's for sure, though. I will never be using eBay again.
Oh, yeah? That's cap. He looks sus as shit.
My wife and I had recently got married, and we moved into our own place not too long ago. When we moved in, we introduced ourselves to most of the neighbors. We live in an apartment complex.
Y'all need to introduce yourselves to some clocking blinds. Like, I understand, you know what I mean? Like, look, I get it. You know what I mean? Animation. First of all, doing animation is hard as shit. I've done it. It's hard as shit, right? I don't got that time to do that. And I appreciate everybody that makes animated videos and CGI videos, right? I appreciate you. I know how hard that shit is. And I'm not saying, that every window, it should be, but every window should have blinds and or curtains. shut all the way. But at least if you can animate some blinds and or curtains just like halfway down. You know what I mean? That would give me some sort of, you know what I mean, security. I don't know if that even makes sense.
It's the two buildings across from each other. The view from our bedroom looks directly at the other building, but hey, the place was cheap and in a good location, so we couldn't complain. We hit it off with one of our neighbors right away. His name was Jeff. He was a bit older, probably mid-30s.
My name's Jeff.
Anyway, I go to the gym a lot, and I like to use headphones when I'm working out. Though my headphones recently broke, so I decided to start my search for new ones on eBay.
Right.
I found a pair of new Beats by Dre wireless headphones for pretty cheap. Cheap enough to think you were getting a good deal, but not enough to think you were getting scammed. I thought I struck gold, so I bought them. But of course, upon arrival, I quickly noticed the headphones were fake. I started the process of filing a complaint with eBay, but deep down I knew it was no use. The weird thing was, as fake as they were, the headphones actually sounded really good. So I took them to my workout at the gym that was on the first floor of my building.
What are the chances that those headphones are, how do you say it, traced or tracked? You know what I mean? It's a good percentage.
Running on the treadmill, and they were doing really well. Just as I started thinking these counterfeits aren't that bad, the left ear cup started producing this crackling noise. I ignored it and kept running. Then, a loud bang came from both of the cups, and I nearly tripped on the machine, it was so loud. I stopped. Silence completely overtook the headphones. The silent crackling slowly returned, and this time with what seemed like whispers.
Oh my
I
God.
knocked on the plastic cups, hoping that'd fix them. It did, but a few minutes later the crackling noise got loud again, reaching an unbearable pitch. As I was about to take the headphones off, the music started playing again. I didn't think twice about this event. I mean, I guess this is what I get for not seeing the signs of buying fake headphones, right? Fast forward to the next day, and I asked Jeff if he could come over and help me install some lights. He's an electrician, and I asked him to help me install a pair of those...
Jeff better not be the one that gave you those headphones.
lights. I guess I watched too many movies, and I really wanted to be able to just clap for the light to come on. I found a good deal and bought a few, and Jeff was helping me install them. He offered to do it for free, which was really nice. Anyway, since eBay hadn't done anything regarding my issue, I decided to keep the headphones. The seller wouldn't give me a refund, and they sounded at least decent, so I sucked it up. 2 days later, I was relaxing on my balcony listening to Kanye's new album at the time.
Oh, yeah?
And just then, the same crackling noise started. At first it didn't bother me, but it got louder and louder. It finally got really loud, and then it stopped. Whispers came through the headphones again. I turned up the volume to the max to confirm that there were people whispering, and not just some static sound I was mistaking for whispers. But no. Sure enough, I could hear what sounded like deranged whispers. Though, what stood out to me most was the clear whisper of my wife's name. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't mind the first interference, but this one was about my wife. But I quickly wrote it off as some kind of radio interference, and just a coincidence.
Clock you! Clock you!
I could hear my wife's name. I decided to ask Jeff about it, since like I mentioned earlier, he was an electrician, and he might know something about it. I pulled out my phone and texted him.
Hey, look. I'm not saying Jeff is the one that's doing this to you, like clucking with you. But I'm not saying it. It's a 50-50 for me. And his name is Jeff. Come on, man. Cluck name. So I just felt like you getting a little bit too comfortable with Jeff.
If you can answer a question for me. 2 hours later, and I was still sitting on my balcony without a response from Jeff. Finally, around 8 p.m., I saw Jeff walk out of his building. As soon as he got out, I yelled, asking him if he got my text. He replied saying, "Nah, dude, sorry, I left my phone at work." "Why? What's up? Did those lights stop working?" I responded, telling him that the lights were fine, though what I said next seemed to set him off. I asked him how it would be possible to hear whispers through headphones, and if it might have been picking up a radio frequency somehow. Jeff just stopped in his tracks. He was looking up at me, but he wasn't moving or saying anything. After about a minute or so of silence, he responded saying he didn't know and smiled, but it was obviously forced. He then quickly went back into his apartment. I thought the whole encounter was strange, but I didn't think too much about it, and I was decently tired, so I just decided to go to sleep.
Come on!
Around 2 to 3 a.m., some kind of noise woke me up. I'm a light sleeper, and even little things get me, but this sounded pretty loud. I woke up enough to realize that the sound was coming from the headphones. It was the same crackling that got louder and louder. Finally, it went away, and silence took over. I turned the volume all the way up, trying to hear anything, but I still couldn't. Just then, a loud clap came from the headphones. The light in our bedroom turned on instantly. I was still a bit sleepy, so it took me a second to comprehend what was happening. The clap from the headphones must have activated the lights. That's when a thought came to me. I walked over to my window, and that's when I nearly screamed. The building across the street had all lights off, all but one. Jeff was standing in the window in his apartment. He was just looking straight at me. He was holding something that looked like a radio. He brought it to his mouth, and just as he did, the crackling came from the headphones again. Jeff must have somehow switched out my eBay package in front of my door with another package that carried fake headphones that had a speaker in them. I still don't know how he knew I had bought headphones, and why he would even do something like this. Although, the guy did always give me a weird vibe despite his kind demeanor. Needless to say, me and my wife moved out shortly after this experience, and I've never seen Jeff since.
You literally just said he always gave you a weird vibe. This is why, ouch, I bit my tongue. This is why you don't be friendly with any and everybody. Some people, you know what I mean? They're good, wholesome people with good intentions. And then you got other people with bad intentions that may come off as good. You know what I mean? But every now and then the truth always comes out. I didn't know 100% like it was Jeff, but I had a pretty good hunch. Just watch careful? No, I'm trying to word this a certain way. Okay, I know the word careful is in there, is in the statement I'm about to say. I just need to know where to put that word in the placement of the statement. Be careful about just watch your back. Just watch, you know what I mean? Just watch your back. You know what I mean? Don't get too close to people. And that's about it. You know what I mean? He got way too comfortable real fast. And that's what clucked him up. And not watching out for the signs, even though the signs were as clear as day. Well, at least to me. But keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family.